Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me directly through Benji at alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcast. People of Distinction is an internationally syndicated show solely due to the love and support that you all continue to show. We're available across all major podcast distributors. And like I mentioned, people, if you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in because we are delighted to showcase this next guest on our network. And on the line with us today, we have the impressive Bobby Morrison. Now, we're going to be discussing two books by Bobby that you're going to want to get your hands on. Okay, one is entitled Bama Boy. Next one is Tales from Piney Grove. Man, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places, but most importantly, make sure to check out his personal website, BobbyMorrisonBooks.com. There, gather more information on Bobby, on his books, hyperlinks set up to take you to the purchasing pages. Man, I'm telling you, you want to get everything that he has in store? Yeah, you got to check out his website. Again, that's BobbyMorrisonBooks.com. And people, listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Bobby here on the line. What if the ultimate act of rebellion isn't anger, but unwavering progress? And Bobby Morrison, he lived that truth, okay? From a sharecropper's son to crafting a life of purpose in DC with a myriad of other obstacles sprinkled along the way. His memoir trades victimhood for a masterclass in perseverance. And I believe he is joining us at the perfect time because, listen, in a world that is shouting about obstacles, his book offers a compelling case for the whisper of hard work. Sit back and get ready as we dive in. I promise you, this is going to be one you're going to want to add to your shelf. Bobby, first and foremost, welcome to the network and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Listen, Bobby, it's a pleasure, man. It really is our pleasure. Both of your books, okay, there's something about them that, yeah, listen, I mean, they're memoirs, okay? So clearly deeply personal to you. But I think when your readers, man, when they pick it up, when they read in between the lines, there's a lot of information that I believe can be very beneficial to your readers, right? For your readers. So I want to thank you again for writing the book. And most importantly, thank you for being here with us to discuss it. Let's jump right in, man. Let's start off at that foundation. The book is entitled Bama Boy. Well, tell us a little bit more about it.
Most people, when they hear the word Bama Boy, the first assumption is that I'm from Alabama, which is not. I'm from Carolina. Bama is just a name that people give you when they want to put you down. So I wanted to take that negative and basically turn it into a positive.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bobby, listen, man, I'm glad you said it, okay? Because that's exactly what I thought, right? If I'm being honest, let me throw myself under the bus first and foremost. I was talking like, are you talking about North Carolina? Like, what is happening right now, man? I was so confused. I'm glad you clarified it. And listen, joking aside, it's actually a great segue that you've established, man, because you're talking about that term and how people use it as a way of putting you down. And listen, man, I think it connects when we're talking about that education. Your memoir consciously avoids a tone of victimization, right? And it focuses on resilience. It focuses on progress. And that, I think, is something that we can all take from the book. And especially when we look at today's culture, where trauma narratives oftentimes are the ones that are highlighted. Well, talk to us now, man. Talk to us about that writing process and why you specifically focused more so on the resilience rather than the victimization.
Well, first of all, I have a love for life. And although I found myself to be in a tough situation growing up, in the South with very little resources, I knew that was no fault of my own, and it was no fault of my father. So I didn't feel comfortable being like a victim. I love life, and I still wanted to make the most out of it. So I just did what I had to do.
Love it. I love it. Okay. Well, listen, man. Let's hit inspiration next here for a second because, Bobby, I've told you, man. I'm gonna talk your book up all day. I'm very glad that you wrote it. I'm glad that you put it out there. But let's just call a spade, brother. You didn't have to, Bobby. Okay. I mean, this could have been a book that stayed on your personal shelf. This could have been something, wisdom that you told those around you, but you didn't do that, right? You put it on the page. You published the book for the world to now be able to embark alongside that journey with you. I want to know, why did you publish it?
Because, growing up, you never, well, I never read anybody that, I never knew any authors from my area. I never knew any authors, period. And I felt as though my life was really exciting, and I wanted to tell it. I wanted to tell my life so for the future generation, they'll know the life of a regular guy coming up the way that I come, the way that I was raised in Jim Crow South with very little resources, and that you can make it regardless of where you was born or the situation that you was in. And I wanted to tell that story, and I wanted to put it out there to let everybody know that it doesn't really make a difference where you're from. It's who you are that makes a difference.
Great message. Great message, man. And listen, Bobby, I think that's going to be something that your readers are going to be able to feast on, man. I mean, it's a big part of your journey. And of course, traveling from North Carolina to DC, everybody has their own path. They have their own journey. But I too, I remember being in my early 20s. I made a huge transition, right? When I was 21, 22 years old. I'm born and raised in Rhode Island, but I moved to California for graduate school. And my goodness, Bobby, it was such a huge transition for me, man. I remember vividly, not only was the environment different, but the people too, right? Like the way that they spoke, the way that they carried themselves, the mentality that they had. And it was such a big contrast for me. It was a big juxtaposition for me. Well, examining that yourself, I want to pose this next question to you, man. Like, going through that journey for yourself, not only, again, was there a change of the physical environment, but also probably a change of mentality, right? So what did you have to unlearn from your upbringing in order for you to succeed in this new environment? And vice versa, what did you fiercely hold on to that actually served you in DC?
Well, I've always been a good observer of people. And one thing I noticed when I came to DC, that, everybody was slick, that everybody wanted to be smooth, and they didn't really have any action behind their smoothness. When where I came up, you had to work hard and you had to survive. Well, when I noticed that everybody was being slick and not working, I said, well, I can't fall into that trap because I felt as though that it didn't work for me. The streets would have ate me up because I couldn't adapt to their lifestyle. So I had to go back to my upbringing. I just couldn't, change my ways just to fit in. And that's one reason that I wrote the book, so that most people, especially people from the South, from had a hardship, that don't fall into the change. You got to stick with who you are in order to survive.
Listen, people, again, man, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. Most importantly, remember, it's BobbyMorrisonBooks.com. Today, we're discussing his book, Bama Boy, but remember to check out his other one. All right, Tales from Piney Grove as well, because both are fantastic additions to your shelf. And these are listen, these are books that you're going to want to add, and it's opportunities that you're not going to want to miss. Okay, so head on over there, purchase your copies. And Bobby, listen, man, you've noted that the book is inspirational for young adults. Now, listen, I'm going to go a step further, and I'm going to say like this is an inspiration for everyone, regardless of age. But I agree that young adults probably need it more. They probably have the most to gain from this book. So let's pay it forward, man. Let's talk directly to them. What would you say is one misconception about success that you hope a 16-year-old that picks up your book abandons after they read your book, Bama Boy?
Well, I hope he learned that you got to stick to your upbringing and not get caught up in the hype of the streets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be resilient. You know, you gotta stick to your grindstone. You just can't change to fit in. And if you do that, things should be okay for you.
Bobby, similar question next, man. So we talked about that random 16-year-old reader that picks up your book. Well, if you had the opportunity, if you could travel back in time and you could talk to your younger self, 16 or any other age, right? And you could talk to him as he was preparing for his travels to DC. Curious, man, what would you tell him in that moment? In which chapter of the book would you like him to read first, and why?
Man, oh man, that's a good one. I guess it's the one where it says, "Don't bring that Bama around here again." I think that would be the one because I think I was with one of my DC friends, and we went to this lady's house. And, you know, I'm new, I was afraid, but they told him not to bring me around there again. And that kind of like upset me because I didn't see the difference in me and anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So just be who you are, regardless of what somebody call you. I think that's the first time that I was called Obama in the DC area. And then I realized that it's not about the name, call it. It's about who you are.
Bobby, man, we have a few minutes left. So as we close out, I've mentioned it a number of times already today, but now let's go into a little bit more depth. Of course, you have your other books. So for our listening audience here, man, tell us a little bit more about it. Give us a brief synopsis of your other book so we know what to expect when we head on over and we pick it up.
Oh, man. Tales from Piney Grove is a gem. They got some fantastic characters in there that you won't forget. And I can't say enough about it. It's just really a gem, especially the one from Uncle Kent, Uncle Dinky. Oh man, it's such a great book. I can't say enough about that one.
Well, listen, you all know where you got to go, man. All right, I'm going to say it one last time. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's BobbyMorrisonBooks.com. Get lost in these amazing books. And, you know, as I reflect on our conversation here today, as I reflect on both of these books that Bobby has written, I want to close with a challenge, man. And I really do mean it. I challenge each and every one of you to not only read the books, obviously that's where you got to begin, right? Head on over, purchase it, read it, but allow them to give you permission to reframe yourself. Not as a series of hardships to overcome, but actually as a landscape for building character. Now, it sounds like a cliche, man, but it really is profound. Like, I think oftentimes, I started the interview by talking about that victimization. And I think that that's something that a lot of people fall into, unfortunately. And I want to challenge each and every one of you to try to avoid that. And I think Bobby's books are going to help you. They'll help you see things through his perspective. But when you read in between the lines, it's going to keep you on that path of driving, of dedication to reach your ultimate success. See, Bobby hasn't simply given us a memoir. He's given us a mirror to examine our own resolve. And that's why we were so excited to have him here on the network. These books can accomplish a lot for you, but it starts with heading on over and purchasing them, embarking upon that journey. So you know where you got to go. Head on over and listen, man, let's get it all started today, okay? Bobby, this has been a true pleasure, man, an absolute honor. I really do mean that. Thank you for writing these amazing books, but most importantly, thank you for being here with us to discuss it all through people of distinction.
Thank you.